Hello, I'm Bill Strong.
And I'm Julie Bedsole, and we are this year's co-chairs for Parkway Presbyterian Stewardship campaign.
We wanted to let you know about some of the ministries of the church that you're pledged to support. We decided the video format will allow you to hear from several different people, each of whom work in the area that they're going to discuss.
At the end of this video, your stewardship visitor will try to answer any questions that you may have. They will also ask you to fill out a 2010 pledge card. So let's get started meeting the people and ministries of Parkway Presbyterian Church.
I'm Jane Walter Williamson, and a few years ago when Parkway began thinking about building renovations, several people suggested that the youth center, which we're in right now, which had been planned for a later phase in a master plan, be moved and up and built immediately. I wish you could see all the activity here on Sunday night. We will have up to 30 children at one time and 10 to 12 adults almost every Sunday night. It is active, it is loud, and it is a lot of fun. Recently, Alan pointed out that right now the Sunday evening fellowship time brings more new members into the church than anything else we do. Our children invite their friends come and have a wonderful time, and soon their parents are attending worship. Once the family's all comfortable, they become members of the church. Thank you for your pledges and contributions to Parkway as they help us put together a Sunday night experience for children and teenagers that is one of our many success stories.
My name is Kim Hammer. I'm currently on session and chair the Properties Committee, which is responsible for the grounds and buildings of our church. 5 years ago, we completed a project that added meeting and office space, as well as a new building to meet the needs of our growing youth ministry. We are fortunate to have a wonderful space in which to worship and do our ministry, and we need to be good stewards of our investment. Most of the time, the work that is done by the Properties Committee is never seen by the congregation. Parts of our campus are more than 50 years old, and maintenance needs are constant. Leaking roofs are repaired, rotten wood is replaced, and worn out equipment is rehabilitated without most of the Parkway family ever knowing there was a problem. One of our more visible projects this year addressed floor-level seating in the sanctuary, as well as ease of access through the street and alley entrances to be more accommodating to those with mobility issues. The Properties Committee deals with bricks and mortar, as well as the insurance that we need in the event of a catastrophe. For the past several years, Parkway was able to purchase inexpensive windstorm insurance through Lloyd's of London. When that company decided to discontinue coverage along the Texas Gulf Coast, the Properties and Finance Committees found that the best value windstorm insurance would still cost $40,000 more than we had been paying. This increase is sobering. Please be generous in your pledge this year to ensure that our ministries don't suffer under the burden of this increased cost of insurance.
I'm Nan Borden. I have sung in the choir at Parkway for years, and for those of us who help lead worship through music, it is much more than a performance. It is a spiritual offering. I remember Alan asking in a sermon once, how many of us, when faced with a tense time or difficult situation, find ourselves humming or singing a hymn? I certainly do. Parkway has been blessed with wonderful people to work on the music ministry team. Joyce Wilcox, as our music director, not only plays the organ and piano for Sunday worship, but also directs the handbell choir, plays for weddings and funerals, and coordinates this entire area of ministry. Iris Felding is our adult choir director and began at Parkway as a scholarship student. Joe Garcia and his wife Amy have been active members at Parkway for years. Joe is the newest addition to the music staff. He is directing the children's music program and working with the youth band. I don't know what worship would be like without music. In fact, I'm not sure you could worship without singing. Not only does music enhance our worshiping together, it is a wonderful spiritual exercise for all of the musicians. Thank you for your support of Parkway and its music ministry.
I'm Don Granger and serve on the Parkway session. This is the 6th session I've served on in my Presbyterian life, and I find it to be one of the most organized sessions on which I've served. It's exciting to attend our monthly meeting and hear about the various things going on in the life of the church. from educational programs for our children to advertising efforts of the Evangelism Committee. Perhaps you've seen some of the ads for our church on television. The session is also coming to a greater understanding of our role as spiritual leaders of the congregation. We're trying to see into the future where God is calling our church and to set up the programs and people to make sure that we are ready for that future. One other aspect of the session's work is ensuring that your financial contributions are well managed and used in the best possible way. I am confident in the session's finance committee, our treasurer and bookkeeper, that your contributions are indeed carefully managed and faithfully used.
I'm Mary Beth Delano. I serve as clerk to the session, but right now I want to speak to you about the work of the Phase 2 committee on which I serve. When it was first organized, the thought was that the Phase 2 committee would recommend projects for a second phase of building renovations. As we began our work, we found that several of the projects imagined for a second phase simply didn't make sense any longer. So with the direction of the session, we've become something of a long-range planning committee. It has been so exciting to serve with the others on this committee as we felt such energy and enthusiasm for the ministry of Parkway. Calling and equipping disciples for the kingdom of God was recently approved by the session as Parkway's new mission statement. The session also approved 3 vision statements which guide how we will fulfill our mission. One of the vision statements is this: enlarge our generosity to enlarge our ministry. As we studied the work of other churches, one of our findings about vital churches in the 21st century is that ministry is less and less about what happens within the church building and more what happens when people leave the building and engage the world. One sort of generosity is the giving of time in ministry. Related to that, of course, are the financial gifts that help prepare people for that ministry. I hope that you are in a position where you can enlarge your generosity this year to enlarge the ministry at Parkway.
I hope this brief review of ministry helps you understand some of the current programs and future plans for work of Parkway Presbyterian Church. So many people give faithfully of their time, and we could not possibly tell you everything. However, we have simply hit a few highlights. But I also hope that through this brief presentation, you have been inspired to enlarge your generosity so that Parkway can indeed call and equip disciples for the kingdom of God.
In a moment, your stewardship visitor will hand you an envelope with this year's pledge card. We'd like to take a few moments, complete the card, seal the envelope, and return it to the steward. This helps us to gather your pledges in a timely manner. Your pledges will want to help us project a budget, build a ministry, and be faithful servants of God.
Yes. As you consider your pledge, we ask that you think about increasing what you give by 1% of your household income. For example, if your household income is $40,000, please add $400 to whatever amount you pledged for 2009. Perhaps you already know you can do more than that, which would be absolutely wonderful.
Also, remember your pledges can be adjusted mid-year if your family finances have changed. Thank you for your pledge, however large or small.
And thank you for your love of Parkway Presbyterian Church.